the tent for the next hour or so, so make sure you go and just over 1 minute. Players in the referees, just over 1 minute. Please make your way onto the field.
Sharkies won 2-0 against Parks.
Welcome to the coverage, or welcome back to the coverage if you have been listening here for the Southern Conference, the Junior State Cup here at Wagga. And to be honest with you, the heat policy is out, but Jason Stanton, my co-caller here, and for those not knowing Jason Stanton, absolute doyen of the game. Jace, the weather is spot on right at this moment, almost perfect playing conditions at this point.
It's perfect, and the last game, if you caught it, was an absolute cracker for the 18 boys. And now we've got the 18 girls, and we're expecting a cracker here between the Sharks and the Dogs.
Sharkies have possession to kick off things. The dummy half is young Kobe Marr. A length of the field intercept in the first game, Kobe, and opened up the campaign for the Sharkies with a 2-0 victory over Parks. A lot of changes for the Sharks, so a difficult assignment for Coach Fleming and Gab Rose. A lot of changes, a lot of people new to State Cup. So here they come through. Tatum puts the ball down. Tatum scoops from dummy half, a bit of a quad concern, and they'll hand the ball over inside the 7. Canterbury with their first set to commence. Well, it's near to the sideline here for the Sharkies as Marr goes up. Nice tip on. You can't reward the one-out defenders, can you, Jace? You've got to punish them with a tip on, and now a big opportunity for the Sharks.
Yeah, that was a little bit surprising there. Canterbury looked quite composed in that first set, but then when they got the ball, it just went a bit quiet. They weren't too sure what to do, and Sharks took advantage. Now they've got 6 touches.
The Sharkies up the middle of the field, and they play the ball back Tatum again. So Tatum just setting things up here nicely, and they'll play the ball down. And I think they've got the numbers wrong in the program here, because the 2 is certainly not my daughter, and they come across to the right-hand side. They play the ball back to Tatum. Tatum goes long, and Reese Kane gets the ball and tapped. And she's taken down about 7 metres out. She'll be forced to go back.
Yeah, Canterbury a little bit physical in defence. Like, they're getting quite square on and, to the Sharks girls. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Sharks coach can, enforce that to his team just to be able to handle that, maybe get into the side of the defender. But yeah, good D there from Canterbury to start the game.
Canterbury have the ball, and they charge up towards the halfway line. Of course, they're now in the same competition. Ooh, that was forward. Gee, they late call from the touchy. I think the crowd jumped onto that, Jace.
Yeah, we were. I think we were lucky to get a good result there. I think we end up having a ball down or an off the mark as well as a forward. So good spot from the ref in the end. We got the right call.
Sharkies have the ball and head upfield through Davey. Davey pass comes back up the field and taken down 7 metres out now. They scoop from dummy half. And, that was very, very close there for Cronulla Sharks. And they'll play the ball back at the 7. A lot of kids just don't get to the 7, so Canterbury have got there on this occasion. Tight tussle to start.
Yeah, Canterbury defence strong there. Interesting to see the way this first half pans out, Joel, because that was quite an aggressive collapse from Canterbury where all of the players on both sides of the ball come in to help the offside player. So it'll be interesting to see whether they continue with that and whether the Sharks can exploit it with some long balls.
Back in field, nice ball away to the 18 for Canterbury, and Taya Creary scores the first try in the match. It was a beautiful ball and great line from Taya Creary as the Bulldogs take the lead 1-0.
Yeah, excellent running footy there from the Dogs, and it's probably the first time they've had a bit of a look down on the Sharks line and they've come up with the points. So great work by Canterbury. Probably a bit of an ominous sign if you're on the Sharkies side, because that was their first time they've been asked some questions, and Canterbury with some excellent footy there to get the result. 1-0.
Cronulla Sharks now looking to respond immediately, and they have juggled the ball, and they'll start the set 15 metres out. Canterbury 1-0. They lead. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here. New South Wales touch as they drive towards the halfway line here. Canterbury. Who's your rugby league team, Jace?
I don't really have one because I was juniors at a few different clubs. My Sharks is where I'm living, and Canterbury's the family team. So I can probably claim both teams here. Whoever wins, I'll say that's my team.
That's my team, and they just got it wrong there. So it is through the Canterbury side who get a bit of field position here, and they play the ball towards the halfway line. Over the halfway line, Canterbury, 1-0. Always a decent team in this age group, Canterbury, that's for sure, but on that occasion, the old curse of the commentary variety, they cough it up. So a couple of mistakes from both teams.
Yeah, Joel, I think Gav Rose would want you saying Canterbury's good every time they get the ball. Commentator's curse there. So Sharks coming out wide now. This is a little bit better. Possibly a little bit physical, but the referees are across it. So it's all good. Let's see what Sharks can muster up.
Down by 1, the Sharkies. Little sweeper play coming up here, and they come around, and Sienna Price is the one sweeping. Back in field, and ball gets lost. So it is Canterbury, who we've had 3 sets in a row now, Jace, without completion. As a coach, sometimes you just want to go, okay, guys, let's just complete the next 4 or 5. I
think so. The Sharks possibly a little bit flustered. Canterbury's quite physical. They're getting in front when they're making the touches. That's what we mean by when we're saying, they're getting physical. And Canterbury's collapsing D's quite aggressive. It's a great run down the sideline, but I think she'll get caught.
Yeah, Reese Kane grabs her. And Canterbury, though, great field position. And when you have these long breaks, you get a few plays up your sleeve. So that's the case for Canterbury now, and they have the ball 7 metres out. It goes back across to Kai Kennedy, drops it on the 7. Canterbury on the march, and caught from dummy half. Did the player get back in time? And I think you'll find they certainly did.
I'm quite pleased they didn't score then, Joel, because they had 7 players on the field. That would have been not nice.
Oh, that's
for
right.
the Sharks. But a player from Canterbury just dropped off to the side. But when they had 7 on, I was squinching a little bit and hoping they didn't score. So we got the good result in the end.
Okay. So
yeah, another turnover there, Joel. So Sharks will have to really try and focus on ball control here to try and stay in this game. Otherwise, Canterbury could get away from them.
Canterbury have the ball now. They got it 7 metres out. They lead by 1. They're on the attack. Sweeping across is the number 44, Neve Balzen. And Canterbury, Cronulla claiming it, but the touch judge said, no, that's all clear. 2-0, Canterbury leading the Sharkies.
Yeah, good work by Canterbury, and that's just sustained pressure. The Sharks girls haven't quite, had their ball control good enough, completed their sets. A few turnovers, a few little errors, and that compounded, and then Canterbury were good enough to take advantage. So well done to Canterbury. 2-0 now. Let's see whether Sharks can bounce back. They're going to definitely have to settle into the game, but Joel, and control the ball a bit better.
Well, last game, Jace, we saw Wollongong, who was so dominant, similar to what we're seeing for Canterbury here, skip out to 2-0, and remarkably Canberra Magic pinched a 4-all draw. So here we come. That was in the 18 boys. Tatum takes off from dummy half and gets the pass away to China Hardy, and China will play the ball 7 out. Can they respond here? And Tatum short side. And what have you done, Dale? That's my daughter there. She's found a way to trip over somehow. But anyway.
Yeah, I think she might have got pushed there. She might have got a bit of help there, Joel.
Yeah, she may.
Because the referee's got the penalty. So good work. Look, Sharks have really, hopefully they can get a bit of lateral attack going here, because Canterbury's wingers at times in the middle of the field. Really overly compressed defence.
Hardy plays it 8 metres out. Tatum dummy half. And now they come across and Vakawatu, and that's Michaela and Mac involved in that. And all of a sudden, Tatum picks up the try for the Sharkies. 2-1. Canterbury leading the Cronulla Sharks.
Yeah, that was great play by the Sharks. They knocked down the front door. I wouldn't have run that play, so they've proven me wrong. Right down the middle of Canterbury, I thought that would be Canterbury's strength, but Sharks have shown sometimes you can still score through the so-called strength. So that was a great hit back there by the Sharkies.
Now, I have to be a bit careful now. We're sharing a few trade secrets before, Jace. I'll be coaching the Rebels 12s this year. Heathy Cooper, who's in the Northern Conference for the Renegades, he's coaching the 12 Scorpions. Ooh. So I need to be careful. He's listening to the coverage. Hello to you, Heath Cooper.
Heath's probably about half a page of notes already on your job.
That's right. That's exactly right. You do learn a lot from these live streams. I've got to say, even in our preparation, we watch the Adult State Cup and we watch the Junior State Cup. Oh, I tell you what, not onside.
Yeah, the touch was made, but the referee's called her offside. That was a little bit unfortunate. I felt that was almost against the run of play, but great work by Canterbury there to take advantage of that. They might have heard the referee calling the defender, you're off, and they showed great footy skills there to run at the offside play and get the try.
Hensley onto the field to make the tap off. And up they go here, the Sharkies. Sienna Davey and Ruby Clifton plonks it down. Davey again. Dummy half, the old Red Rooster they call that. So that's a little show and go basically from dummy half from Hensley. Now away to Sienna Price. Pops up the pass here, and Ava Rose Hardy. And a lot of roses here. Sienna Rose Price, of course. And a penalty here for Canterbury.
Yeah, well, the Sharks have been, there's only a minute or so to go, and similar to what you said in last game, Joel, if they can just hang in there, get to the half time, have a chat to the coaches, they could, we could see a totally different second half from the Sharkies, but very impressive from the Dogs to start the game.
Score remains 3-1 Canterbury. And getting deep into the territory. Ooh, and a penalty here. What's the call here, Jace?
I think that was for contact, probably a little bit against the run of play because there's been a fair bit of contact in the game. So that was probably a little bit unfortunate for Sharks. But they're going to have to hold out. The Doggies have got 30 seconds here to really hurt the Sharks right on the stroke of half time.
So the Kirk sisters combining here, and from dummy half, not from dummy half, in fact, they dive over here, Canterbury, but just denied. So the Kirk sisters causing a few headaches out here for the Cronulla Sharks. And this time it's in the hands of Tallulah Kirk. Here's the set-up play here on the short side. Denied moments ago. Bolson goes back to back. Got the... No. This time they got her. So last time she went through, took advantage of a player being offside. But on this occasion, the referee said they'd made it this time. And they deny another try for Neve Bolson. Half-time.
Last play. Yeah, that was a really impressive touch. It's quite a difficult thing to do, to be running backwards at full speed, hit the line, then go laterally and get your arm out to save it. So that was a very impressive touch there, and great defence from the Sharks. They're still in the game. It's only a couple.
3-1. And as you say, this is a chance to bring the coaches into play. The coaches, by the way, Cronulla Sharks, the cohort of Wayne Smith, Graham Fleming and Gab Rose. And for Canterbury, and in fact, Graham Fleming, who's the head coach of the Sharkies, is a former Canterbury coach. And the coach is Hayley Kirk, assistant coach Scotty Harford, and Troy Bolson is the coach as well.
Yeah, I think it's Graham still loves the blue and white. He just want to add a bit of black to it.
That's it.
That's all, Joel.
That's it.
But, yeah, only a couple down, and this is what you're talking about earlier, where you're saying having the halftime, not having the halftime. That 3-1 game could have easily rolled out in a 5-6-7-1. Now that we've got the half-time, there's an opportunity there for both teams to settle, and then it's almost like a fresh start now. Who's going to come out and learn from the first half and make some corrections? A
member of our club, the Sharks, they suggested they had the opinion that you'd see closer games and more upsets. Are you on that same path due to the half-time being implemented?
Possibly more games. It just creates an opportunity for difference. So Canterbury at the moment could be back there and say, right, Sharks are doing this, Sharks are doing that, come out and play even better. Or Canterbury can be thinking, oh, we're going fine. Sharks make the corrections and they come out. So I think the main thing is that there is the potential for the coaches to influence the game and for the players to settle. Whether that results in closer game, I guess we'll see over the weekend.
So some of the weaker teams, I suppose, too, Jace, where haven't got the same depth, it probably does give them an opportunity. And with it's kids' sport at the end of the day, you want to be giving everyone as much as a go as you can. But you will see as this tournament gets more serious that the better players, if you want to call them that, will be starting in both halves, which increases their percentage of time in play, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And certainly for some of the newer players or the inexperienced ones, the half-time is going to be a big benefit.
Well, maybe driving was on the agenda for Canterbury because it was a nice, powerful driving start, and straight to the 7 they go. Tallulah Kirk working with Memphis Kirk.
Yeah, solid touch again there. Offside play, getting back on side, getting her feet and reaching out with a dive. Excellent.
Tallulah and Memphis conjuring up something here as they go fishing and drag the Sharkies out past the 7. Tallulah and Memphis combining. This time it goes with Tallulah, who dives. Great touch from Kobe Ma, who's been brilliant. A brilliant addition for this Cronulla Sharks side.
Yeah, Sharks have shown some little pockets of really resilient defence and really marvellous work. So let's see if they can get a bit better ball control, get up the field a little bit better, and they might better cause the Dogs a few headaches here in the second half.
Tell you what, the great June Ma, who's the grandmother of Kobe Ma, and I'm not sure if you're not here, I haven't seen you yet, June, but if you're not here and you're watching the broadcast, special hello to you, June. Typically you see June get out here and she's got all the times and dates and fields of all her grandsons and granddaughters, and mate, nobody covers more kilometres at a Junior State Cup than the great June Ma. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, I get a little bit tired just thinking about it. She's everywhere.
The Cronulla Sharks have actually made their greatest contributor to the club, the June Ma Cup. So here come Canterbury towards the box. 3-1 remains the score as it was at half-time. As they sweep onto the field, Canterbury, but great defence from the Sharks, causing an error.
That's the best defensive set, and this is to your point. I know we might be harping a little bit about the half-time. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sharks coaching staff said, look, you've got to get up, you have to compete more in defence. That's the best defensive set we've seen from Cronulla today.
Here's Michaela. Now the ball comes back away, and Wepler, little rooster play as they call it, out the back away, and Sienna Arthur gets the pass out. So plenty of Siennas. Sienna Davies in the team, Sienna Greck's in the team, Sienna Arthur's in the team, Sienna Price is in the team. So 4 Siennas in the Sharkies. 3-1. Great run here for Canterbury. Sharks on the back foot, into the half. Go the Doggies. So Bolson again, who's been in everything. No dummy half. That little second you lose just gives the Sharkies a chance to regroup. They're setting up a sweeping play, I think, here for the 26 for Canterbury. Ava Gordon. Ava Gordon takes off. No, in fact, that's the 18. Canterbury have the ball. And, yes, Abby Allian gets the ball down for Canterbury, and that might just be enough to break the heart for the Sharks.
Yeah, absolute superb scoop there, and the vision and the composure to be in the in goal with players running everywhere in front of you and being able to lob it over the top to that vacant player. That's absolutely superb play by Canterbury. So 4-1 now. Cronulla's going to have to settle and see if they can get one back here.
When did you get up here, Jace?
A few minutes before I jumped in the commentary box this morning.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So here comes the Sharkies on the attack. 4-1. Can they pinch one back now? China Hardy. Inside the 7 they go, and it is through Ruby Clifton, who just had a half opportunity, but they shut the door there. Oh, they chase it out to Reese Kane, who drops the ball, and it'll be a handover here for the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Yeah, a bit of a shout out to Canterbury's their drive or their attack there. You'll notice quite often they actually dump on the side of the defender rather than in front, and there's a bit of an advantage in that the defender's got to go back further to get onside. And Canterbury seem to be quite dominant in that ruck, so a bit of a shout out. They've done very well with their preparation in that area.
Nice work here. That was nice from Hardy. Hardy got the defence up. Hardy takes off. This is slick, and an opportunity goes by the wayside. It was Hardy to Hardy, and you just thought it was a big chance of Sharkies making it 4-2, but nice opportunity nonetheless.
Yeah, that was sharp. That was really sublime, that play. Very fast, very lateral. Dummy half straight in the in goal. A little bit unfortunate, but a really strong play there from the Sharks.
7 minutes remaining in this one. 4-1 Canterbury. So dragging the defence up. Ooh, how far can the ball roll, Jason? Is it more than a metre, is it? Or?
Yeah, generally at this level, if the ball's moving almost at all, you're going to get pulled up on it. That was probably
lucky.
One that was missed maybe a little bit. But, yeah, generally you want to keep that ball stationary. Also, as an attacker, when you're dumping it, you don't want the ball to be moving for your player to scoop it.
That's the hardest transition for coaches with league players.
Yes.
When you first get them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it's a skill that you can see here, like the standard of play at this girls 18s level. I know I'm showing my age a little bit, but you go back, say 5-10 years ago, they're not getting up and down the field like this. They're not dumping as well.
Yep.
The passes aren't as far. Like, we're really seeing a top-notch touch footy here today.
Canterbury to the halfway line, 4-1. They maintain the lead. And what have we got left now? We've got about 6 minutes remaining for Canterbury. What do you work on, Jace, time-wise? About 30 seconds a set?
Yeah. It's normally you get a set each a minute. So these sorts of games, you'd expect to get 10 or 11 sets each in a half.
And Cronulla keep them out of the 7. That's what the whole game's about, field position. So if you can keep them out of your 7, you don't often see tries that commence from their own half, unless it's an intercept, of course, but off the mark. And now it's just these little 1%ers really hurt you, don't they?
Yeah, and I think we might have mentioned a couple of times that the ball control has to be a little bit better. We saw it in the first couple of games this morning. Generally, as you said, like the team that's getting up and down the field the best through this midfield, controlling the ball, they really got the best percentage or best chance of winning the game.
4-1, and 5 minutes to go here as Canterbury get the pass away, and that comes through Memphis Kirk, and an opportunity back for the Sharks. Hardy jumps upon it. Hensley, back to Hardy. Now Greck, one of the Siennas, back away now, and nice gliding run from Davey. So a couple of Siennas there, Davey and Greck combined. Hensley, very, very good player, Hensley. And now it goes to Price. So this is the Sienna pod, if you want to call it that. As Hensley goes down. Hensley is surrounded by Siennas. As now Hardy. Back away now. Oh, Grech. It was Davey, in fact. Grech gets touched. Canterbury 4-1. They've got it 7 out.
I think if you're a fan of Cronulla and you yell out Sienna, you've probably got half the team covered. You're doing well.
That's right. So to the box they go, Canterbury, and a nice little late pass too, just to pick up a few extra metres. 4-1, sweeping on Canterbury. They'll expect to go deep in this comp, I think, Canterbury, and towards
there's 7 on again for Canterbury. I'm not sure why it's not getting picked up, but I know that there's so much going on sometimes. It's a little bit information overload for the referees, but Canterbury will have to improve their subs because that's the second or third time that I've seen it. So they'll have to improve that as they get deeper in the tournament because you get into a quarter-final, semi-final, that sort of thing can cost you the game.
Well, it's just such a big turning point, isn't it? Particularly if you're giving it away near the halfway line. A team goes on the attack.
Yeah, they've been fortunate today with that one, Canterbury. But definitely it's been a great performance by Canterbury. They've shown a lot of composure and very, very varied attack coming into the line.
So just had an eye for the trial on there, Tallulah Kirk, but Cronulla just grab her. A couple of Siennas make the touch. 7 metres out, 4-1 Canterbury. They want to get to 5 here, and they survive the raid, the Sharkies. So 4-1, and we've got 2.5 to 3 minutes remaining in this one.
Yeah, I've been quite impressed with Kirk this morning, Joel. Her dumps are really sharp. She's getting to the side of the defender, getting the ball quick, and showing really good speed there off the mark. So I think she could be one to watch over the weekend. Particularly if Canterbury go deep in the tournament.
Hensley away, and Davey carts the ball up to the halfway line. Grech, little soft pass to Hensley. Hensley gets it to Kane, and Kane just wasn't expecting the ball, and it goes into touch. Canterbury will have the ball just short of the halfway line.
Yeah, another incomplete there for Cronulla. So I don't think you need to be a super coach to know what they're going to be improving on in the next game.
Canterbury to the half, play the ball, and they shovel it on towards their side of the field and lose the ball. You may see a fair bit of this, Jace, with the humidity that we're going to see later in the day. It's not so bad at the moment with the breeze.
7 again for Canterbury, see? 7.
Again.
If the Canterbury coach is listening,
yep,
sort out the subs for the next one. We don't want you to be giving penalties away.
Back to the short side. So this now inside the final 90 seconds or so. 4-1 Canterbury are going to pick up a victory. The Sharks, their first loss of the tournament after a nice victory over Parks in the opener. 4-1.
The Sharks will just regroup after this one, reset, and they'll come in strong for the third, no doubt, with 1 win and 1 loss. If you're new to the game, like with the substitutions, it's not like other sports where you actually need to touch hands to make a change or to swap exactly with the player. You just need to get to the substitution box, which is around the halfway. That's the only rule. You can come on and off, and just got to make sure you only got 6 on. So what often happens is we're in the box, we're getting a bit excited, and we run on before our players come off, and we get an extra player on. So that's something that we all need to focus on whenever we're playing.
Big shout out for the referees as well, and to they sent out a note, New South Wales Touch, but I think fantastic, supporting the referees, and I more or less said to Cronulla, I said, let's try and lead it and be as best we can with this, because at the end of the day, I personally think, Jace, kids' sport, parents or adults, having a crack at referees, it's just embarrassing, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, we don't need it, and we often focus on the, maybe the 1-50-50 call where they've just made 11 or 12 great ones in a row, and we saw it in the last game. We're seeing it again here, where the referees are opening up the game. They're not blowing the whistle much, and we're seeing great footy from our boys and girls. So I think the more we can encourage that, the better it is, and it's a better product.
Final set, I think, of the game, if not the penultimate set, that's for sure. Canterbury 4-1. And they'll be pleased with this because they get their first win. A narrow loss to Wagga in the first game. But Canterbury open up their campaign with their first win after their loss to Wagga, the first loss for the Sharkies. So they'll leave round 2, Cronulla and Canterbury in this pool all tied up. A big win for Canterbury. Congratulations to them, 4-1. Troy Balzan, Hayley Kirk and Scotty Harford, the coaching staff there at Canterbury, they get their victory, their first of the tournament. 4-1. Stay with us, the coverage here at New South Wales Touch. Plenty more still to come. In fact, almost 3 days still to come. Thank you very much, Jace.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, Joel. Thanks for having me.